Alrighty, let's get started. My goodness, I don't sound healthy, I don't sound good, but rest assured, I am okay. Whew, sheesh. Alright, let's get into that. There it is. There's that. I need to fix the text on my things, but I've just been too lazy to do that. Pardon me. Whew. Today is an interesting day. And why you thought it was a streamer, but it was at JGJoestar. That it was. Also, thank you everybody who came from the raid, that from our boy the Phantom Fame. My man works so hard. He is a very dedicated and very hardworking individual, despite the hardships and circumstances that are coming up for him. So the man is truly an inspiration, especially with his work ethic. So, you know, it is very, very wonderful that I have such a wonderful co-host that has recently passed 200 followers on Twitch. So continue supporting my man. He is truly worthy of that support. Now, enough gushing over my buff co-host. Let's talk about I hate that dude. He oohed over 50 times today, so cringe. Hey, that's funny. Before I actually continue, I sound different today. I don't know if I'm getting sick again. But all I know is that I'm just my voice isn't what it was a couple days ago. So I'm gonna be taking it easy tomorrow and not talking as much until stream, which I'll talk about a little later. But as for now, we're just dealing with this with this sound currently. It just occurred to me my mic was really hot, meaning it was at this before, and this is what I normally have it set at. We all love our tiny Gojo. Hi, I'm not gonna make that joke. Not gonna make that joke. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, it's time to talk about our stream from our last stream, which was, oh boy, a very interesting stream to say the least. We had the wonderful self-proclaimed V mommy on our show, Cynical, and she was a very interesting individual, and I say interesting because it's so we talked about so many things that I didn't think we'd talk about, and I say interesting in a very good way, in a very positive way, but it's super interesting and super funny to see all the things we talked about, and especially like how many tangents we went on, and then only to end the show with her in her jar, her chibi jar thing. Welcome off, welcome. It was, thank you for that. That's what was missing in my life until now. That specific Dr. Pepper, not the ones before, but the one that was thrown now. Yeah, that Sunday's stream was chaos. It was chaos in the fact that everything was so unplanned, but out of chaos comes beauty, because you never know what will happen. And not only that, we hit some all-time highs on that stream. Like, we had we got followers, we had chatters, we had unique viewers, we had live views, had a bunch of those. I can't believe I'm late to such an important stream. You're not late, Nina. We're just getting started. Poggies. But I think most of all, my average viewer count was like 18 or 19, something like that. I don't keep track. It's not the most important to me, you know, because this isn't about numbers. This is about the wonderful people that come on our show. So we had a lot of fun with that. It's been super fun. Now, our next stream that we're going to be having will be probably tomorrow. And I say probably because I'm readjusting some of my hours at work, so I want to make sure I get stream on time. But we're going to be playing some Lethal Company tomorrow. Finally getting to play Lethal Company on stream. We're going to be doing that with our wonderful Spider Marie, and we're also going to be doing that with our wonderful previous guest Vega, and we still have one more spot open, which I'm pretty sure I'm reaching out to somebody about it. Then on Thursday we have Apophis Nova, my wonderful artist. He is going to be on our show, and we're gonna be talking with him on episode 20. I can't believe I've done on Thursday I'll be doing 20 episodes of this show. 2 hours. Like, think about that. That is, what is that? 20 times 2. That's 40. Wait, 40 hours. I can't think. But 20 episodes, holy cow. Like, that's a full work week of VODs. It is. And, you know, some people have asked me, like, how come, you know, would you consider doing more of this throughout the week? And, like, more VODs for more people? And I'm like, I could do that, but if I did that, that would mean that, if it was like every other day or like 5 days a week, I just feel it wouldn't be as special, because, you know, just dedicating 2 people a week to being on this show and talking is really what is super fun about it, because you get my full attention, you get my co-host full attention, and it doesn't oversaturate, because I sprinkle in my own gaming and what have you streams in between. That way, once the weekend comes, you see, oh, hey, it's the weekend. That means it's VOD time. And so people look forward to that. Whereas if it happens every day, they think to themselves, oh, well, I can just skip this one because I could do the one tomorrow or the one after and the one after that. Instead, it's, oh, I missed this one. Well, then I can do it on Sunday. But if I miss Sunday stream, I have to wait another week. So I heard the weekend. It's 5 a.m. It's 5. Took me a second. Took me a second to think about that. Hey, you do you. We're as much here to watch you as we're to listen to your guests. Be here for the guests. Don't be here for me. I'm just a man who sits in the chair and gets cans of aluminum thrown at him. And the guests are why we all should be here, because the guests are the cool part of the show. Pardon me. Thank you, Chiro. I'm only here for you. Thank you. Pardon me. So yeah, that's oh, and then on Friday's stream is going to be, and the reason why I'm laying all this out now is because I really haven't done a proper like couple streams in a little bit of time. And so with the new year coming up, I'm going to be getting back into the habit of doing that, because I really was fond of doing my streams where I did Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, followed by Saturday, Sunday. So I had Monday and Friday where I didn't stream, but I streamed for 5 days a week. Was Hydrate taken out? Oh, so yeah, I did. Pardon me. Before the stream, I wasn't exactly feeling my upbeat and pepped up step, their behavior. So I was just feeling really down before stream. Like, I wasn't feeling myself. Today's been a weird day for me. And then I just kind of sat there, you know, unpacked things. It was just like, all right, I need to get into show mode. I need to make sure, you know, people are getting what, you know, they're getting my good me. So yeah, I did change the colors too, because I wanted those colors actually match the background here, except for highlight my message and hydrate. Take the throne of stealing your interview spot from you. So that will probably happen on sometime around my stream, my VTuber birthday, which or it may be an April Fool's stream where I'll be the guest instead. So I feel like that would either be fun if it's on my streamer birthday, my VTuber birthday, or if it's on April Fool's. Either one is really funny. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. So, but yeah. Aw, thanks, guys. I love you too. Taking back what's yours. Oh my goodness. I'm having a cough drop right now. I'm trying not to choke on it. Whew. So yeah, on Friday, we'll most likely be playing Lethal Company again. But guess what? We're going to be playing with Cynical. And that'll be fun. And I'm pretty sure our wonderful co-host Phantom will be joining us for that. So join us for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. 4 streams in a week. It has been a while. So plenty of content. I'm going to be enjoying this weekend with my family because it's Christmas time. So no streams over the weekend. I'm going to be enjoying that little break. And then come next week, we'll see what happens. So enough of that out of the way. I feel like as I'm talking more, I'm starting to regain my voice back. I just have to constantly clear my throat. So with that said, today's stream is a good stream. It's a fun stream. Of all the people I've talked to, whenever I do this show, I typically talk with a lot of random individuals. And to me, it's a very interesting thing because you never know what they're going to say. You don't know anything about them. You're taking their word for it. Let's just have like 8 co-hosts with Val in the hot seat. What? You can join me after the show in the general voice chat and we can talk, and that'll essentially be what that is. So back to the previous thing. I meet a lot of people, and I don't know them personally, so I don't know anything about them. I don't know if they can be vouched for, or anything to that degree. However, it's coincidentally JG, who is our guest for today, is somebody who Phantom knows closely, and Apophis is somebody who I know very closely. So I find it funny that this week we're going to be having people with whom we know and we have met a decent amount about. So it'll be IRL homies. That's what it is. So yeah, but the week of home style specials. Yeah. Like I said, today is going to be super fun because we're going to be talking with somebody who Phantom knows very well. So I imagine the conversations we're going to have will be a lot more close to home and a lot more personal. Because at the end of the day, that's what this show is. A show that is supposed to be very fun and very friendly. It's not supposed to feel like an interrogation. It's supposed to feel like a conversation between friends catching up. So without further ado, today we will be welcoming our wonderful, wonderful guest. Now, they are a VTuber that streamed IRL for quite a while before a hiatus. Now, once he returned, he found himself in the 2D world, but didn't turn back since he no longer had to worry about terrible lighting. And as somebody who's worked in theater, live theater before, I can tell you that lighting can be really terrible. Not to mention, if you shine it over your head, doesn't matter how much hair you have on your head, you will look not good if it's directly shining above you, unless you have a copious amount of product. So I relate to that on a spiritual level. Our guest today is the wonderful, wonderful JGJoestar, or JG for short. So everybody, please welcome my wonderful guest, JG! Where is everyone? There's everyone. How are you guys doing today?
I'm well. How are you?
You better be well. You can hear my voice. Bald. Thank you, Robe. Just don't be bald. It's a skill issue. Yeah. Oh, but boy howdy.
Well, yeah. Anyone seen my basement?
One question out of the way first.
Yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
No. We'll get to that question. But I heard something you saying about basement.
Yeah, the lighting thing. So when I started streaming, my lighting in my basement is terrible. I'm stuck in my basement where my computer is, and it's just awful. I have a ceiling light behind me, and it shines directly onto my head and kind of behind it as well. So it's the absolute worst.
It's terrible placement for what you have going on. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
I guess that's something that makes VTubing sometimes much better than IRL streaming, is you don't have to worry about any of that for the most part.
Amen to that.
Well,
you don't have the literal sun in the background.
Look, if it was with the technology we have today, and I've worked with some pretty powerful lighting equipment. So let me tell you something. There's a reason why in the entertainment world we say striking whenever we're turning on a light, because it feels like you're getting struck in the back of the head with light. So with that out of the way, it's time for me to ask our first. Scared the crap out of me, Bombastic.
Before we ask the first question, I see Chiro saying that it sounds a little quiet.
You're a little quiet for me, Phantom, but JG to me sounds just fine.
Oh, well, thank you.
That's because I boosted you a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah. Look, it wouldn't be a stream on my channel if audio issues weren't present. Yeah. Well, I tried to boost Phantom as much as I could, but Discord, I guess, just doesn't want to work with that.
Oh, is it me that's quiet? I think it was JG.
You're a little quiet on my end.
Okay.
No, my audio is perfect. I'm sponsored by Corsair.
See? Fan is a bit quieter.
Yeah, you're sponsored by Corsair the same way Razer sponsors me.
Oof.
I don't even get to be the first VTuber they sponsor. Damn.
Well,
dreams died.
Well, let us ask our very first question, and that very first question is, in my opinion, the most important question, and that is JG Joestar, or JG for short. That very first question is, who are you, and what is your story?
Well, I'm pretty much as normal of a dude as you can get. I actually began streaming kind of early on in the pandemic. I had a friend who also streams. His stream is Damn It Cat. Uh, he's another IRL friend actually, and he started streaming early on and took pretty good success actually. I think he's got probably around 2K followers, a little bit more than that at the moment. He streams all the time, but he inspired me to kind of get started. So I kind of threw together what I had camera wise, microphone, yada yada yada, and I tried to make some improvements where necessary. And then I started doing streaming for a bit. I actually started under the name JG Streams,
Yeah.
and that didn't really sit with me after a while. So I took like a very small hiatus. I came back with the JGJoestar thing. So I figured that fits because I'm a huge JoJo nerd. Speaking of my basement, if anyone's seen my basement, that sounds creepy, but
It does.
Robe, Phantom, you too. It's covered in JoJo art,
Covered
like
in it.
wall scrolls, fan art, stuff I've bought from cons, all over the place.
Your entire house is covered in stuff that you've gotten from like cons and like, other
Yes.
things. Like going down
With
your
the-
stairs are like My Hero posters. There's like Fire Emblem posters everywhere. Like it is just you are going to. It's going to take you a long time to replace all that with photos of your kid.
No, we have a dedicated spot in our hallway going up the stairs for the family stuff. Everything else is nerds. Well, here, so God, tangent time already. We just started going. Was it my wife, girlfriend at the time, obviously, but wife now? We would go to cons and we would just buy art because I never really bought things from like the dealer rooms. It would just be Artist Alley. I would just spend copious amounts of money in Artist Alley. And then we would just sit and have stacks of artwork and nothing to do with them. So when we moved into our house, we're like, let's just get a shitload of frames. I can curse, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's get a shitload of frames and just hang everything up where we can. So yeah, it's coded. But getting back to it, I switched over to JGJoestar. I kept the JG because it kind of stuck.
Yeah.
And I mean, like you can see, like I had someone, a really cool artist. I can pull them up if anyone would ever want to reach out to them on Instagram. But I had them make the art that's on my Twitter, and it's actually on my Discord as well. And then I had another artist do a chibi version for my PNG. And a funny little thing about that is I did not tell the original artist to do that little JG on the little lapel pin or the collar pin. But that's been like a staple ever since they put it on there, and I love it.
That's wonderful. What is it about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure specifically that attracts you to that and employing that in your whole VTubing and streaming persona?
So what got me, so funny thing is that one of my best friends actually got me into JoJo, and he just bugged me about it, like most JoJo fans do, I feel. Phantom can attest to that. They'll just bug you about it until you watch it, and I watched it eventually. I was very
Where's the
resistant
Pompins?
to it because no.
There
I
it
was
is.
Yep.
Oh my
It was,
goodness.
I don't know. I didn't really care for the art style. Wasn't really my thing. But I watched it and I really enjoyed it. I just like how wacky it is. Just how wacky, over the top. You know, you get into it for the big buff dudes. They're just like, what is this crap? And then you get like the English that they throw in, you know, when you're watching the sub. And then eventually, like, as it progresses, the show just gets better. And it really sucks you in.
You have a favorite part?
My favorite. Okay, this is a tough one. So my favorite overall is part 4.
Ooh.
But I think one of the best is 5, because I've always said like the fights are great, but the fights in part 5 are a step above the rest, because those are the ones that are truly like you actually can't figure out how they're gonna win. Like that's a trope in anime. It's like, how are they gonna win? They'll overcome it some way.
Yeah.
Most of the time you can say that, oh, okay, I can see that. You would have never guessed in part 5 how they win some of those fights.
The piss cup, that's how they win. Look, as somebody who got into JoJo in high school, and you know, because I never read into the manga, I only watched the anime. I want to say I spent a solid month or something like that binging after school episodes of JoJo, where I start from Phantom Blood, which, fun fact, is my favorite part.
Ooh, you're a rare breed.
I am a rare breed, and I'll get into that in a moment. It's just goonin'. Phantom, we goonin'?
I'm just going with chat. No, we're trying to figure out. We're just...
Jimothy, give it. Oh, that was you. Hey,
No,
wait a minute.
no, that's Jimothy.
Jimothy.
But back to that. So I was watching that, and when I got caught up with the anime, it was still in part 3.
Oh my god!
And coincidentally, it was right about when Jotaro and Dio start to fight. What do you mean spoilers? Spoiler alert for the show that was animated back in 2018. It's
that is not a long 2018. That's not a long grace period. That's only 5 years.
It just reminds me of the Russian Badger videos, like spoiler alert for Gears of War 3, a game that came out in 2007. Dom dies. It's like
also part 3 animated in 2014 and 15, sir.
Well, what? Oh, it was Phantom Blood that was animated in 2011. That's right, I remember that. Yeah, and so once that finished, that's when I was really enveloped in it. And I got my older brother into it. Like, actually, I got both my older brothers into it. Because we were all still, you know, me and my twin brother were still in high school at the time. And then my older brother was still in the Vegas area. And so we would come over, like, my older brother would come over. And all 3 of us would watch the new episode of JoJo every Saturday night when it aired on Toonami, and we did that for all of yes, I have a twin. I talked about it last stream. Oh well, actually no, I only talked about it in the chat. Anywho, fraternal. We're not identical. We're fraternal. And so we
you can tell we don't look alike.
Oh yeah, Phantom's my twin. So, yeah, it was just like we watched that together all the way up until like the entirety of part 4, and then once part 5 hit, we just kind of watched it all on our own. But like part 4 is magical.
Hive, don't get me started, by the way.
What, on part 4?
No, Hive said they butchered the hype for Stone Ocean by releasing all of it. Oh god, ooh. Netflix.
Yeah, to be fair, I feel like we did get off lucky with it only having to wait about a year before they animate it. That's something I actually really like, is they kind of did it a mix of part 4 and part 5's animation. So
no, I think. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You're the guest.
I was gonna say, I think it looks great. I'm talking about like Netflix. They dropped the ball with releasing it, because they did it in 3 drops, and I get that Netflix doesn't necessarily do episodic, or at least not anymore, but I think when it comes to something that they hyped up so much that people have been waiting for, you should have done an episodic, because they dropped the first third of it and then they just left everyone out dry. Like, all right, who knows when we're gonna do the next one? Don't do that.
Yeah, and I don't know if that has something to do with the Iraqi estate wanting to do that, or if they, something like David Productions. It's just so interesting, because there are anime that are airing on Netflix that do episodics. Like Komi Can't Communicate or Zom 100 are 2 I can think of off the top of my head.
God, I gotta watch that one.
Which one's Zom 100?
Yeah, I keep getting like posts and everything for it. I'm like, I'm going to watch it at some point.
Fantastic show.
They're
But
both
fun.
great.
What was that?
I said they're both great.
Fun fact: they only released 9 episodes for it, and they're like delaying the season finale for it. So us anime Zom 100 fans are still waiting. So
I was wondering if I like just couldn't find it or what was going on with that.
no, the season finale is they're delaying it. I don't know why. So, whatever happens. Not much we as the consumer can, really have much control over. So, rip the homie. But yeah, we could spend the entire show tonight talking about JoJo. Like, don't get me, it is a really good show.
And then leave out Phantom completely.
Yeah.
Because
I'll
you
just
won't
be
watch
here.
it.
You won't watch it?
No,
Why?
because it's a hill now.
It's a what?
It's a hill.
Well, the hill is over here, and you can go die on it if that's where you want.
I always die on it.
Can we make that like a sub or a follower goal? I will campaign till I die.
Oh, quick favorite
You will
JoJo.
never get me to watch that shit.
Who's your favorite JoJo? From Hive is what he asks.
Joseph by far.
Joseph? Wait, which Joseph though?
Ooh, old Joseph.
Which old Joseph?
Okay, middle old Joseph. Part 3.
Big fan.
Jolene's a good one. Okay, so then why?
Hold on, Hive's got an ad.
What?
will see.
I can't snooze it.
Oh man.
All I'm going to say
So if
is
any of you don't want to go to ad prison like Hive, a great way to support the channel and to avoid going to jail is to subscribe.
You know what's really funny is that the people who heard you say that are the people that are subscribed.
Yep.
I know.
That's why I thought it was funny.
So I hope that as I can do this, I get more of a following, I get more subscribers. I hope I can make more money. That way, if anybody ever brings up, I got an ad, I can be like, no, you don't, and I just give them a sub so that they don't get ads. But then I'll get.
Yeah, I do that sometimes.
Oh goodness. So then, why old Joseph?
So I love young Joseph. I
love.
I mean,
Ben Deskin.
he's such an asshole.
Mwah.
He's such an asshole, and he's hilarious. But I think it. What's the word I'm looking for? Not matures. I mean, as he matures, what's the? I think it ages. I guess we'll say that. Like his comedy ages well with him.
As Richard.
And like.
I was
Sorry, go
gonna
ahead.
say, as Richard Epcar, the voice actor who plays old Joseph, says, I guess you could say I age like a fine wine.
I love Richard Epcar, but did you watch in the sub or dub?
I watched in the dub, but I love both versions. It's just that I started watching in the dub, and so that's what I really found pleasure in. But it's one of those things where I think I love both, and I think they're both really good.
So here's my anime hot take that I feel like I got shit on a lot, and a lot less lately, but I still get it.
Oh,
I don't care if you watch it sub or like if you watch anime sub or dub.
amen.
I love watching in the dub. I think it's nice. It makes it so you can do other stuff. If it's a nice easy watch, you can keep it on the background. Usually a lot of some studios will have really good voice acting choices.
Mhm.
One of my favorite voice actors of all time is Chris Sabat.
Chris Sabat is so good.
Is it Sabat or Sabat?
It
I've always
is-
said Sabat.
So I always thought it was Sabat as well. It is Sabat.
Well, shit. Okay, well, Chris Sabat. I absolutely love him and his work. The only thing is that I say, even if you're gonna watch JoJo in the dub, you gotta at least watch it in the sub. I watched it in the sub. It's the only thing I would be a stickler about, and I could not do the dub. It's gotten better as the parts go along, but early JoJo dub is god awful.
I highly disagree. I think it's glory. Johnny Young Bosch is goated. My guy Patrick Seitz as Dio, he sounds goated. My man David Vincent as the narrator. In that moment, JoJo's life flashed before his eyes as the freaking that is how he sounds. Freaking Dio, he's just like, you're hiding behind the curtain like Polonius, and like Polonius, you will die. Freaking, I could go on. It's just, I know all of those. Freaking
so goofy.
You know, you also else, guess who does the voice of JoJo-styled the first? Freaking Mark DeRison, the man who does the voice of Guts from the 1997 Berserk show.
Oh my god.
I know my history. Anyone else?
You certainly do.
So I had said that earlier, Phantom, or as I started to talk more, that am I gaining my voice back? So maybe it's just because I wasn't talking and all of that. What the heck, Brandon?
Oh no, he's
Trust
gremlin
me.
moding in here now.
Trust me, he's been at this all night. So I had to change a redeem for him and time him out for half an hour.
Oh my gosh.
Because he redeemed. So I have one channel point reward that I was not very specific in what wasn't allowed with it. And so it's basically set any channel point reward to 69 channel points with no cooldown. And he did it to the fucking Uwu attempt. And he, roll for turn, and like 2 or 3 other people redeemed 49 in a minute. In a minute. Yeah.
So then did you do all 49 of those?
I did way more than 49, I think.
Did you
They
do
weren't great, but I-
ooh?
It was like I ended every sentence with uwu essentially.
Oh my gosh, friggin'!
It was not great.
I just love the fact that I don't know when, if and when Brennan shows up, but when he does, makes it very known.
Oh yeah, that's him.
And for that, we thank you. For those that understand that, they understand that. For those that don't, they don't. Because that is a reference, and I love references. We could continue talking about anime, but I'm actually going to transition this little into some more questions. Maybe at the very end we can come back to talking about that. Sound like a plan?
Yeah,
What about that?
Yeah, we got
do have
time.
Redeem that's still sitting around there though.
We have what?
It's floating up in the ether.
We have what now?
We got an RR redeem before we even went live.
What? I
Or
didn't
not
see
before we
that.
went live. Yeah, it's been there. It got redeemed at the very beginning. That's what I was talking about earlier when I said, do we want to get a question in first before? And then you said, yes, we'll ask the first question first.
Hold
And
on.
I assumed you knew what I meant. Yeah, check the queue. I didn't clear it yet. I mean, I've been leaving it open because the problem is you get blasted whenever we do.
Filthy acts at a reasonable price. I like dimes for crimes myself. I need to see this. It's not that I don't believe you. I do it regardless. Where's my request queue?
I love
It
spicy
says
lady.
you know, I don't see it.
I'm not
but I'll
seeing it either, but I know it was there. I know it was.
I'll
I
do
remember
it.
seeing it.
I'll do it. I'll give it.
Let's go.
Yeah. Your queue is probably just too full.
No, my queue is not too full. It's just that I didn't remember just seeing that before the show get loaded up. But if it did, it did. I do it for free. But no, we're doing that right now. JG, do you want to go in on this? You don't have to. It's kind of been established now as a standing thing that if I get an RR redeem, my guests like to join in, but they have the option. You don't have to if you don't want to.
Oh god, I gotta. I'll try it. Why not? Oh god.
Let's go.
We have to do it together, like at the same time.
No. Oh my
No,
gosh.
take turns.
Harmonize, gentlemen, harmonize your RRs.
Anything but that. Anything
Sync
but
'em
trying
up,
to make them
boys.
harmonize.
Oh,
If there's one thing I can't do, it's harmonize.
it do be like that sometime. Harmonizing is hard. So, well, who wants to go first?
I think we should do the way we always do. You, me, and then the guest.
Alrighty then, I'll go first. Da-da-da. just hear Ara.
Yeah, you just cut out. Do it again.
That's so
Dude,
funny.
do it again.
I have no way to.
No, I do it again, but don't do it so deeply.
Is it the deep or is it how breathy it is?
I think it's the deepness, because when you get into that vocal fry, it creates those pops in your throat. That pops are register at a high frequency. Just like if people do with their little mouth click, they just go.
Oh.
That is a
Man, I've never done it higher than that. I can try. It might not be great.
Well, you don't have to do it like so high like mine. You just, instead of going,
Here comes the clip.
instead of you just going, da, da, you could just, da, da, just bring it up just slightly.
Less edgy.
Less edgy. Yeah, let me see what I can do.
Thank you, Apophis. I assure you, my tax is no cow. I need to talk about that later.
What is that quote?
That is from Regular Show. That is one of my favorite quotes. That is my favorite joke from Regular Show. I think it's the most well-written line in any piece of animated television I've seen.
It's high praise.
Huh?
All right.
Yeah.
More stalling.
All right. That is so much better. That is so much.
Wow, look at you.
I love that. JG.
All right. Da.
Oh, that sounded like a JoJo character, not gonna lie.
It really did. That sounded like ours were more like a ooh, ara, and yours was just like ara.
Yeah.
Actually, what it's supposed to be, which is just like, yeah.
My man,
Is that fucking so? I'm gonna push your shit in.
I'm not turning anyone on here.
My man went straight. We went from seductive to freaking yada does it. Yes, I love when my show goes from yes, we're gonna be talking about very seductive things to mukatte kuru no ka, nigetsu ni kono dio ni shikazuite kuru no ka. Anyway,
I wish I knew more Japanese. I'd love to do that.
and then Phantom joins in shikaz kana demene buchino. Anyway,
God damn.
it just makes me think. Have you seen that YouTube video where it's like your parents when they walk into you watching anime, and it's a fight from Full Metal Alchemist, and they're just like, and they just start like jumping around and like they're just screaming shit at the same time.
yep.
Holy shit!
Freaking-
It's one of my favorite videos of all time.
Freaking Full Metal Alchemist dub is goated, my guy. Like, and people talk about Edward Elric and Vic Mignogna being the best. I wager to say it's Ed Baylock as freaking King Bradley. That man is, I love that man. It's a shame he passed away. He's such a good voice actor. Because like the way his voice was so unique and the way he sounded. The best impression I could do is that he always, it's so hard for me to do sometimes, but he talked down here like this, and he spoke very passionately, and he was very elderly. He was like, you greed, I will smite you with 1,000 swords, because I am wrath. But he spoke with like that very much like in very guttural voice down here.
Yeah. Yeah, the kind that would make you sound like an asshole over Discord and start terrible memes like ooh.
Freaking one of my favorite lines he's ever done was in One Piece, where he's just like, Garp, your family's messing things up again.
He's Sengoku?
Yeah, as Admiral Sengoku, he's just like, Garp, your family's messing things up again. Luffy! This is the funniest thing. Oh my goodness.
Dude, so all right, before we're gonna get to these questions, I guess that you have lined
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
Real
yeah.
quick. Speaking of voice actors in One Piece, going from like a normal show that has like every character, maybe like one voice actor has like 2 or 3 like side characters, but like for the most part they have one character. It's one voice actor, one character.
Yeah.
Going to One Piece with so many episodes and so many locations, and hearing like, for example, like our Bruce Elliott, I hear him every 5 seconds in another character on that goddamn show.
For those that don't know, our Bruce Elliott would probably be most known as 2 characters: Commander Pixis in Attack on Titan, or Captain Ginyu in Dragon Ball Z.
Makarov in Fairy Tail.
I haven't seen Fairy Tail. That's
LTG, it was great having you on.
I'm watching Tokyo Ghoul right now.
You want to tell them about the tattoos you have?
I have a Fairy Tail tattoo, thank you.
I see. Oh yeah, Hive. He unfortunately passed away a couple years ago. Yeah. Good voice actor. But yeah, like One Piece is, I love the dub of it only because you get so many like good voice actors doing characters. Now I know people stand by the sub, and that's wonderful. I just started watching in the dub, so that's just what I lead to and I like.
I don't know why anyone would stand by the sub. I don't know why anyone would.
You're going to cereal is soup changed my mind. Hello, Danielle is soul.
What the fuck?
Somebody saw the flow chart. Oh my gosh.
Oh no, the flow chart. I did see that.
Well, guess what? That's something I'm bringing up on the show from now on. Is that
Please don't replace that poster back there with the fucking flow chart.
Oh no, not at all, not at all. However, I actually need to swap that poster. It got pinged. So yeah,
You did at everyone that flow chart. I was surprised.
So I was trying to do that silently, but I realized I had done the silent thing backwards. So if you hit @silent at everybody, it silently pings everyone. So yeah, so if you want to alert everybody, but you don't want it to make the noise or make any announcement, you just do that. So
Yeah,
super useful. But yeah, for those that don't know, I spent a couple hours with my mod yesterday, and we had devised, based on his previous stuff, we had devised a flowchart categorizing food. And this will be the first question that I'll ask you.
Okay.
And you won't have a say. I'm sorry. So this right here, actually, I'll keep it the way it was. So this right here is the flow chart. It's covering half your head.
You're good.
This is the flow chart, and it is. It follows this. Is it edible? If not, you probably shouldn't eat it. Some people will. Is it just me, or all I see naked streamers on Twitch and channel says get my OnlyFans for free, 10 million channel points? How did they know about my? That was my plan. You guys are supposed to know that. That was only with me and my mod. Are you my mod?
Yeah, you like my cut, Hive?
Who are you?
Who are Luffy? Anyway. Garb! Phantom! Your chat is messing things up again! So, well, back to this. And the whole point of this is, I think this can withstand the scrutiny a lot of things can be thrown at it. So, is it edible? If no, you probably shouldn't eat it. If yes, is it majority liquid or solid? It's a soup. If it's a liquid. If it's a solid, is it single mass or multiple parts? If it's single, it's a steak. If it's a layered dish, is it a layered dish? No, it's a salad. If yes, it's a sandwich. Anything can be categorized in these 4 things. Throw anything at me, I will tell you why it is.
All right, lasagna is not a sandwich.
Lasagna is a sandwich. It is layered.
But it's not a. Oh God. Oh no. We're gonna do this. I had this argument with an old coworker.
What is it?
How do you eat lasagna? You gonna grab it with your meaty hands?
So
or are you gonna eat it with a fork?
So my rebuttal to that is you assume that the notion that we have to eat sandwiches with our hands is necessary, when in reality you can eat a sandwich with a fork and a knife.
Fair.
So at that point, that comes down to a cultural raising of, what about calzones? We'll get into calzones, Robe.
So like, this makes chicken nuggies my favorite thing to eat on this planet.
Steak.
Steak.
well, chicken nuggets. It's multiple parts, is it not?
Well, are you talking about multiple chicken nuggets or a singular chicken nugget? Oh my gosh, and thank you for the follow.
Before I'd ever try to feed myself a singular chicken nugget.
Hold on.
I think what he means is that like you're not eating it like with other stuff typically. Like if you're eating a chicken nugget, it's just the nugget.
So, if that's multiple, then it's a salad.
Okay. So it's a steak then.
No. So if it's so multiple chicken nuggets, let's follow the path. It's
You're
edible.
having a chicken nugget salad.
It's edible. It's solid, and there's multiple parts, but it's not layered. That makes it a salad.
Having a chicken nugget salad.
Huh.
What else? Is calzones?
Wouldn't that make French fries a sandwich?
No, French fries would be a salad too because you're eating multiple of them. There's multiple parts, but it's not layered.
Wait, so if you have one, hold on now.
Layered
What if
is
you're having?
structured.
So if you're having one fry, you can't call it a steak fry because those are a thing.
That would just be a steak fry, steak squared.
Oh my god.
Now, if this was animal style fries, that'd be a sandwich because there's layers.
All right.
I hate this.
An animal cracker's a steak. A singular animal cracker's a steak, but multiple are a salad.
I'm having a nice graham steak.
Quick question: is a McDonald's chicken nugget a sandwich since it's comprised of a crust layer and a nugget layer? So that's the thing. Now you're getting into things that are much finer in detail, because the thing is that if I were to take a look at a car, if I took the shell off of a car and I still had the engine and the block and the transmission, the steering wheel, would you still consider that a car, or would you consider that a machine at that point? More machine than car. Because what defines a car? That's what you have to get into and you have to discuss. Because I had this discussion with my mod yesterday about, well, is a watermelon technically a sandwich because it has the rind and the interior? My answer?
No, it's majority liquid.
I'm not driving a car, I'm driving a part salad.
What do you mean I need help? You guys just don't want to hear the truth.
Also, cereal would be a soup because it's mostly liquid.
Yes, it is. What about ice cream? Is ice cream? And I also brought this question up to my mod yesterday. What does ice cream fall under? I'm like, is ice cream the oobleck of this entire four states of matter? To which my response is, if the ice cream is solid, then it is a steak. But if it melts, it becomes a soup.
Can I just destroy everyone for a moment?
Sure.
For just a moment. Is it edible? Yes, you can eat it. Is it majority a liquid or a solid? You know what? Most people would say liquid. That makes it a soup, right? So a cat is edible. It is
technically
a liquid. As we all know, cats are made of liquid. Because if you've ever seen a cat try to get into something, that shit turns to liquid fast. So this flowchart would make cat soup.
And?
Yes, I'm waiting to be destroyed.
And? I see no issue. You're understanding the flowchart. That's the purpose. I'm not arguing with you. You are correct.
Oh, Jesus.
Why are they a soup and not a steak?
Because, actually, no, it is a steak because it's a single mass. And
they're liquid because they can fit anywhere.
Okay, so live cat is a soup.
We're not talking about eating cats. We're not talking about eating cats on this show. Back to the calzone question. A calzone, I actually don't know much about a calzone, so I really cannot offer I don't know what.
Giant hot pocket.
Yeah, it's just a folded pizza.
Then it's a sandwich. It's layered.
Yeah.
It is layered, and I had same thing with like a taco. It's like a taco, except it's closed. It's that closed loop, and so because of that, it is a sandwich.
Why must the first discussion of this be when I'm on the show?
Because
Why am I being subjected?
You're a foodie. What do you mean? You are
What'd
like
you
the
say?
biggest foodie I fucking know.
Let me just
I literally,
shrink that.
when I walk in a store and I see like a fucking gimmick for like a brand food, you are the first person I think of. I've told you this, and you agreed that it does kind of seem like your thing. Whenever I walk in and I'm like, oh, like it's like pancakes, but now they're cereal flavored pancakes. The first person I think of is JJ. I walked in the store today. I shit you not. I saw Lucky Charm pancakes, and I said, "What the fuck is that?" I almost bought it for you.
I might have
Like-
pancake mix that's Captain Crunch in my pantry.
So
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
so Robe, the thing is now you're debating it's kind of a form of semantics, because the thing is, if you look at, say, a human is how much percent water?
What is it, 80 or something like that?
Something like that.
85?
But a human in a state of mass is a solid. So you have to consider it by what state of matter it is in. So if it is, for example, that ice cream, if it is one ball, that is a solid. But if it melts, it becomes a liquid. So when you say a calzone is mostly liquid,
Oh, 78.
is majorly liquid, well, are you still holding a physical object, or is it running through your fingers where you can't hold it? What about plasma? We don't talk about plasma. Well, Val, what about these nuts? All I can say is it falls under the category of got him.
I like how you can just see I look like the Wicked Witch of the West right now.
Yes.
These nuts are a sandwich. I think.
Where is it the East that got
So
was it the East that got crushed or the West?
the Weast, the Wicked Witch of the Weast.
Ah yes, the West.
Okay, so I'm glad we were able to debut this flowchart, because this is a very important thing. So do you agree with this flowchart? That's the first question.
I'd say in
Okay,
general,
I will say this.
Okay.
There probably could be more added to it, but on a base level and with your arguments about lasagna, I will say yes, I agree.
Wonderful. You will be placed on the top list of our people who agree.
Great.
So the thing is that it's so simple, because the thing is, we're not getting, this is just theoretical physics. Once you start adding more, we're getting into the level of quantum mechanics of food, which,
Oh my God.
you know, I feel like molecular gastronomy would be a really cool word, but unfortunately it's used for minimalist food. So I'm not a word guy. What about drywalls?
Yeah,
People eat them?
I think there is a level between salad and sandwich, and I think pizza goes in there somewhere.
Well, so what is pizza if not a layered sandwich? There's dough, there's sauce,
mean,
there's toppings.
Sandwich is usually
Don't tell me
sandwich
pizza's a
usually has
sandwich.
it usually has two pieces of something, two pieces of the same thing encompassing it, you know?
Yes, and it has the toppings encompass the dough. And if there's no toppings, if it's just meat and cheese, or if it's just dough and cheese, what is it if not just two pieces of bread?
But that's what I'm saying, where it's like the two pieces of bread, they're
So
the same thing.
so then what?
They're covering each other.
Yes, but
Hold
that would
on.
still be considered a sandwich.
What is 9-layer dip?
9-layer dip is a sandwich.
No.
You can't
No.
argue with this
A
logic.
sandwich needs bread.
No, so you're using your I will answer your question, Danielle. Don't worry, we will get there. I want to answer it about I will answer it right now.
Drywall's a steak.
Drywall is a
Hold on,
steak.
this needs a separate stream. This needs an entirely dedicated stream. Can we
Drywall-
set up a date for this stream rather than having this episode of the VOD devolve into?
No, this will
into a
happen on every
full-blown
episode of the
war?
VOD.
Oh
No,
no! This is
no,
the
you
new
know what you need to do?
segment.
This is the new
We're gonna need
segment.
to add, like,
No.
we're gonna need to double the length.
What about new
of the
Toady?
VOD.
You need a debate stream dedicated to this, where people will side on either or on what is what, and you say go.
Yes, I have the perfect name. It's called What's That Food?
Oh, you know, that's not a terrible idea.
Apophis gets it. So yeah,
I would
drywall's a
just
steak.
label it, I can't believe it's a soup. That would be my thing. That's the first option.
What if I eat cereal without milk? How could it be a soup? It's not a soup anymore. It's a salad.
I'm gonna tag my old coworker. She's gonna rip into me for this shit.
9-layer dip is a solid. It's a single mass. 9-layer dip is not, because there's layered things. You could take one layer off.
It's 9.
We will get. All right. If you guys disagree, debate me in the post show in the general voice chat. You're more than welcome
Fight
to.
me IRL.
You are more than welcome to debate me.
Maybe
I
at
will
the
sit around for.
flagpole.
I will sit around for 15 minutes after the show in the general voice. If you guys want to debate me, I will. I stand by this. Your logic will not hold up to my wonderful flowchart.
It's gonna devolve into like British Parliament where they're just screaming at each other.
The thing is, I run with a group of eligible bachelors. We call ourselves the Squad.
Huh?
Guac is solid, but salsa is soup. Yes. All right, enough on that. Enough on this. I know what I caused, and I don't regret it. So, all right. Soup is salad, huh? What? No, soup is not a... Enough with this. Enough with this. Clearly, you didn't see the flow chart. Soup is majorly liquid. That means that it's a soup, not a salad. You can't mesh these boxes in categories. They're in their own categories. That's like trying to put a banana in the same category as a vehicle.
Thanks for coming to the final episode of the VOD, everyone.
Where Val has a mental breakdown because of his chat. While you're at it, come join the Discord if you're not a part of it already. It's a wonderful Discord. There's a lot of different channels. You can talk with all of us and all of our previous guests. If you want to set up collabs, there's a channel for that. Not to mention, go support my wonderful boy Phantom here. He is my co-host and has his own channel. Also, go support JG. How to plug all of this. With that transition out of the way, you said you had done IRL streams. That is correct, right?
Yes, sir.
So, since you transitioned, that was definitely a shift. That in a way that the content is presented and the experience is different for the streamer and the audience. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey into transitioning, like just what motivated you to take that break and then come back as a VTuber?
The guy sitting on your desk. Let's go.
Hey.
So
That's Gojo.
yes, no. So what was going on is I don't even remember the last time I streamed like for real with the camera when I was doing the whole thing. But I flipped back and forth between doing a camera and not. I do a camera and then I change to not a camera. But the thing is, with not a camera, with not having a camera or anything like moving besides like the gameplay or anything, it's kind of hard to bring people in. People want to see expressions, reactions, stuff like that. So when it's just a game, I find it really hard, or I find it that you don't really get a lot of new people in, or even some people that like, you might have some people that stop in.
I'm sorry, I just saw the prediction.
Oh,
How dare
What'd I
you?
do?
No, you continue. Sorry, I had
okay.
I had to chastise my mods real quick.
No, you're good.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like having just gameplay is not gonna pull anyone in. So I wasn't really finding a lot of success with that. So I would eventually switch back to putting a camera on, but with my old PC and just like I was kind of getting burnt out because I had some growth. I had a really big jump in growth when I first hit affiliate. I was actually streaming on Magic Arena, and I had a large streamer, Magic streamer, Voxy. Who some people, they play Magic, they probably know about her. She hopped in. She raided me with like 300 plus people, and our good friend Jules was there too. He was like in the Discord. We were just chatting, and I became speechless very quick. I didn't know what to do, but I got a mass influx of followers. I already had the followers for affiliate. But that one stream threw my concurrent viewership technically above the amount needed for affiliate.
Dang.
Yeah, it was actually crazy. So it got me to affiliate, but after that, I didn't really retain pretty much any of the people that have followed me, and stayed. So for just a combination between the very, very slow growth, and just like my computer kind of being crappy and just things getting busy in my life and stress and all that, I took a step back. And good old Phantom here, when he was getting set up for his streaming, his whole VTubing career. I mean, I'm sure you know, but he's put a lot of time and resources into getting this thing up. It's wild. Like, and he's told me about it pretty much every step of the way since he announced it to me that he was doing this. And it really, it gave me the push to kind of get moving my own. So I actually went and I didn't go as far as he did with his PC, but I did get a new PC. I retired my old one as the quote unquote family computer. And I got myself a new PC that runs like butter definitely in comparison to my old one. And I started thinking about it, and the whole VTubing thing was cool, and I liked the idea, but I didn't have the money, the time, or anything to dedicate to doing anything crazy. And then I learned about the PNG tubing when we were doing well, I didn't even know it was called PNG tubing, but we were doing like collab streams where I was just joining and being there, and we had Marie draw one of the little guys as a PNG.
Yeah.
And we were using that, and I was like, oh, this is neat, maybe I'll try that out. And then I went on Twitter and I called it VTuber Lite, and I got shit on for it because later on, like the next day, I was just looking at it, I'm like, is this a thing that people do? And then I saw plastered on my phone that it's called PNG tubing. I'm like, oh, I'm stupid.
That was so I mean, you were so honest about, like, you just like you were just trying to like be like, yeah, I'm a VTuber, but like, you know, like I kind of get that I'm not doing what everyone else is doing. Like, I don't want to be like, say I'm a VTuber when it's like I didn't really spend a lot of money on the model. Like I didn't really like do this. And I was like, no, dude, like that's what Marie does. Like our friend who's a streamer, that's what she does as well before she debuted her 3D model. That was so funny.
And who knows, maybe one day, if I ever had the time and the resources for it, maybe I will. But as of right now, I don't. So we're doing this. But that's yeah. I mean, I do really well when I have motivation, and I get a lot of motivation from my friends. I try to keep my social life as intact as possible and see people and talk to people. So when I'm alone, I don't get motivated, and I just don't do shit.
Fair.
Oh,
That's so fair.
The pardon me, the cycle of content creation is a vicious one in whatever media format you choose to be in, and that actually leads me into my my next question, which is how did the transition affect the way you engage with your audience, and were there any new opportunities or any new things that came up as you were building this? Because as you said, you were able to jump to affiliate with that whole raid.
So what's interesting and what I like about the PNG tubing, jokes aside about the lighting thing, is that I feel like I can be more expressive. I have so for example, I have like some physical tics that I have in real life that I don't, it's not that I'm ashamed of, but it's like, it's just something that is closer to me. It's like not everyone needs to see my tics or anything like that. So I can kind of still be myself, be very active with my voice, and because I like to talk, clearly I feel like I've been rambling here, but I can also be very comfortable in how I act physically. So it kind of leans into me just being able to perform per se. So it's a really comfortable thing for me, and I like it. I can present myself how I like, how I want to with the image that everyone's seeing here.
Yeah,
and it's definitely opened up. Like I've been in different like communities on Twitch, but I feel like the VTubing PNG tubing community is very loyal and friendly and welcoming. So like, I mean, everyone I've been talking to ever since I started, and I mean that's included like all the talking through your streams, Val, through Phantoms, through people like Marie or Tokyo. Like I see the same people in all these different streams, and it's always nice to like talk to them. And
yeah,
I don't know, everyone just feels like a friend like immediately.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. Phantom, were you about to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's really like community building. I mean, I feel like there is a lot of drama in the VTuber space, but it's mostly up top. There's not a lot down here yet, and I feel like that's kind of like that. It's really nice where it's like, yeah, everyone down here is just like, yeah, like I just want to support all my friends, watch other people get to affiliate, and then like watch them start growing, watch them hit milestones, watch them like maybe even eventually get the partner. Like it's cool because what, especially like, you know, where we're at, where we're in like, you know, we're in the little leagues right now. It's like we're still like legitimate VTubers.
Yeah.
It's just the stakes are lower, and I feel like there's just the competition is so much more vast that it's so vast that there's almost no reason to like just get up in arms over just petty stuff. And I've had a fantastic time, and I've definitely noticed that, like, yeah, you go into one chat, you see someone, if you see them again, like it's really cool to run into another streamer or even just someone else from a familiar community.
Yeah.
Like I've done that several times.
It's interesting that you say that because when I first started, when I was, because my whole raison d'etre, if you will, for the VTubing,
Bless you.
thank you, for that was that, like, once I started, it's just, it's something that I knew I wanted to do, and it's like I knew that once I start, it's like, all right, I'm gonna try and be in this for the long run. And what makes it well worth it, what makes me keep going, is the community not only that I fostered between me and my audience, but I feel like even more with the people who I interact and collab with. You know, you, Phantom, JG, Marie, you know, and the new people that I'm starting to interact with, like Vega and Cynical. I'm like, wow, having people like these who are backing you up and having you, giving you their support, is something that a lot of people kind of take for granted. Oh, pardon me, goodness. And it's just, I feel like at this level where we're at, you know, it really makes sense for really expressing and having that gratitude towards your fellow. Keep
going.
I think he cut out.
He didn't.
So anyway, I lost my train of thought.
Oh,
Did you? Why? How did that happen?
Because I got hit with a massive fart.
Yeah. Let's
oh, I
keep
see.
Must have ate
I was
soup.
waiting because we're
yeah.
in Discord, so we can't. If we have the stream on, we get like a crazy echo.
Yeah.
So the second he went silent, you're like, I could tell that I was like, JG doesn't know why he's silent yet. He doesn't know.
Salad
I'm
soup.
Hello.
used to it.
My goodness. I swear, if somebody comes in this chat and be like, so you talked about solids and liquids about that, but what about gases? I'm like, out of here with that. Time out. 5-minute time out. We start getting in the topic of gases on that chart.
Oh,
All right,
no.
there it is.
That poll is over. It has no influence over me. My goodness. Oh, but that's what I was saying. So yeah, it's just being able to interact, and was that still going?
Yep.
I thought that ended.
Nope. The ability to vote on it ended.
Oh no.
Yep. That's how it works.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Congratulations, doubters. All those who knew that he couldn't resist. I'm with you 100%. I would have voted, but then I wouldn't have been able to click confirm.
It do be like that sometimes.
I really do.
Well, anywho, yeah, it's just, I feel like you once you establish those. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. At our size, you really I feel like the connections can sometimes, and I say sometimes because it varies from case to case, can sometimes be a lot more personal and genuine with your collaborators and your fans that you just don't get when you become like really, really big. You know what I mean?
No, I totally agree.
And that's why I say sometimes, because like, you know, I don't doubt that those who are in the very high echelons, the upper echelons of VTubing, you know, they're very appreciative and very humble regarding their connections with their VTuber friends and whatnot. So that's why I say, you know, sometimes, not all the time. So, and what's interesting is that kind of transitions me a little bit into my next question is, as an IRL streamer, did you collab or did you do anything with people on stream often?
So I didn't really do a whole lot of collabs because I didn't really have too much of a community. I had my friend Damacat, but
Yeah.
as I mentioned, he was growing at a crazy rate. Definitely very, like, especially earlier on in his stream career.
Mm-hmm.
And he fits very more into like the LGBTQI plus niche of Twitch.
Yeah.
And while I consider myself an ally, I don't quite fit. And this is not me saying like, oh, if you don't fit into a group, they
You look
exclude
very
It's, but
sleepy. Let me sing you a song. He
was collabing with more of, you know, people in that same genre, and it wasn't, you know, I didn't quite fit into that, so I kind of started doing my own thing, and I didn't really network well or anything, so I just kind of fell off per se.
And then once you became
I totally know what you mean by that, where it's like it's difficult because I struggle with that as well. As a married white man, a married to a woman, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, like I absolutely support the LGBTQA plus, I think is the most up-to-date acronym. I can't say for
AAIP.
sure. It's changing all the time. See, yeah, I missed some, and yeah, like I know what you mean, where it's like, white man, yeah,
You triggered Hive.
I did. Yeah, it can be difficult sometimes because you don't want to feel like you're patronizing by putting those tags on, or that you're trying to, like, you know, like white knight for anyone. You want to be involved, you want to participate, you want to support, but you also, like, it's become such a paradoxical thing now where it's very difficult to support people.
Here is another
because
song. We
half
wish you
of
a
the
Merry
people-
Christmas.
Oh.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. And don't get coal in your stock.
I don't hear it on my end,
Remember,
make sure I don't
Santa
cover
is
it up.
always watching. Always.
But yeah, it can be very paradoxical where you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's like I go back and forth between whether or not I keep an ally tag or an LGBTQ tag on there, because I almost feel like it's dishonest in a weird way, and maybe that's just me holding myself to like a ridiculously high standard where it's like, yeah, because I don't want to tag that, just because I'm like, yeah, like,
I'm in
I
your
feel like
walls.
people
Don't
who are looking for
misbehave
that
now.
tag
my
are
gosh.
looking for I feel like they're looking for
Someone who fits that niche better than you do.
yeah, exactly, someone who represents them more,
Yeah, right, exactly.
rather than just someone who aligns with their views, because it should be assumed that, you know,
Yeah.
most views align in that common setting.
And I
So,
agree. There is like a blurred line with like, do I do it because I want to represent myself as an ally, or do I not do it because I don't want to be misleading? And I totally agree
Right.
with that.
You don't want to look like you're pandering, because that's not
yes.
the idea. It's yeah, I totally get that, especially if you're very closely associated with someone who is.
Mhm.
Like, I think the only time I had that tag on, I think I put it on as a joke a couple of times, like, because I was like, I usually fill my tags out or get close to it, or I spell something out with my tags. But like, there was some conversation Tokyo and I had during a collab, and we were joking about something of like some joke about like
Sorry.
like sexuality.
Good.
I can't remember if it was like, I think it was like we were joking about me and Tokyo having a relationship or something, and like it just
Why
kinda,
are
it
we
just
talking
naturally
about
came up in
this?
the flow of
We
things
need
of
to
like,
talk about
like,
Christmas stuff.
like I guess
It's
I
not
guess
even
I'm an ally.
snowing
Let's throw up the
outside.
tag.
You
Let's
must
get it.
be
Let's
in the
get it on
UK.
there.
Also, Valentine,
Yeah,
please
I feel
be
like
careful
I
with
feel
the
like there's a
Dr.
lot of stuff
Peppers
like
next
that.
time.
Very similar to like how, like we have the Nick tag on here, and it's like,
We do have the
okay,
Nick
well
tag.
none of us are Nick. Like,
I never
like,
noticed.
I mean,
that
I don't
till
think
now.
anyone would look up. I would love to see the analytics on that tag. I forgot. I feel like you told me before that it doesn't get a lot of traffic, but it's just so
It's just
perfect.
funny.
It's just funny.
It's so,
So-
funny. It's so funny.
But to return to your question, Val.
Yeah.
I didn't really do a lot of collabs. What I would just do is that during those times, it was mid peak of the pandemic. We would just hang on. We would just do a lot
Thanks,
of
Brandon.
hang out
Weren't
with the
you
boys.
following? I thought you were following before.
Oh my god! Way to be late, Brendan. But so it was like height of the pandemic. So
My
it was
gosh.
just a lot of hangout. What the? Oh my god.
Yeah, you could get 300 points for following. That is
Brendan,
what
I'm gonna
happens.
kill you. No, I would just stream hangout time with the boys essentially. So there wouldn't be like collabs or tags or anything or like communities. It'd just be like, here's a guy in his basement just streaming his time with the boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was something else I was gonna say is since you now are a PNG tuber, because I'd say it's sometimes it's a little bit, my mouse just died. Sometimes it's a little bit interesting finding that niche as an IRL streamer. It's also a little difficult to find it as a VTuber, but there are differences in those kinds of niches that you can find. Like for instance, maybe you're finding a niche based on your model. Maybe it's the content you make, whether you're an ASMR streamer, maybe you play Apex, you play shooters, maybe you do like cooking streams. So how, in your experience coming into the VTuber community, is it to find that niche?
Interesting. So I don't stream I haven't streamed a whole lot since I started doing the VTubing thing, and I haven't quite found a niche yet in it. So when I did the IRL stuff, I was doing a lot. I would call it variety streaming, because I would just sit and since I was doing so much gaming with the boys, it would be a lot of what do I feel like playing. And I had never really sat myself down to start playing like a certain genre of a game, or like just a certain game in general. Like Dead by Daylight has a large Twitch community, and people will just play that game into the ground.
Yeah.
And it's not my kind of thing. I like to switch up games a lot, and my mood always changes. So like a game that I've played since I was young is Age of Empires. I love Age of Empires, and I love Age of Empires 2, and I've been playing 4 a lot. It's not something that's super streamable. But it's something I enjoy playing, and
Yeah.
I until I find like that niche or like that genre of game that I want to stream, I don't want to be the person that just streams the game I want, because I'm not going to get people that come back. It's like, oh, okay, what he plays, let's say he plays Fortnite one day.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, okay, I like Fortnite, and then suddenly it's like that same person comes back and sees me play Age of Empires, and they're like, this is boring. What's this point and click, yada yada yada, So I think it's struggling, breaking out of my habit of I'm just going to play a random game today, and like sticking to it is something I just haven't gotten to yet, and I need to figure that out.
Do you think that's
I
Oh.
actually would love to jump in here, because there's between Hive is actually throwing out some stuff in the mix that I
also
agree with and have some points to. You want to go first then? And
uh
I'll follow up.
yeah. What I was gonna say is, do you think that having that dichotomy of the dichotomy of stuff you see that is popular versus stuff you enjoy playing is a necessary thing, that's like is a mandatory thing, or no, a required thing that streamers should find out and kind of accept in their own time? Like for instance, I see Lethal Company. That is a game that's really popping off. A lot of people enjoying and playing that. I enjoy that. I play that. But for some, that may not be their cup of tea. But they realize that they could probably hop on that train. But they also know that if they play something else, like for instance, Age of Empires, they see that's a game they really enjoy playing, but it doesn't get as much support. Do you see that being a streamer, something that one should learn as a streamer, is to know how to both boost with that popularity, but also stick to their own special stuff? Because what it sounds like is if they aren't, that means that they're only there for that Fortnite stuff instead of, the Dead by Daylight, you said?
Yeah, Dead by Daylight.
If they're only there for Dead by Daylight and they see you play a game you enjoy but isn't to their taste, well, they're gonna leave. And so, what are your thoughts on this, real quick? Then we go into Phantom's thing.
You're good. Yeah, I think it's a really tough line to walk on, because you go between the thing that's popular for growth or for people that are come back, and then something that you're gonna have fun with. So like I haven't played like Lethal Company, and I did try like Dead by Daylight, but it's always a risk, I think, jumping into the game, and then like you very well could find a game that you love and you want to play, but I think for me, I just like the comfy.
Yeah.
I think, and I've been looking at like collab stuff like in the chat here, and I think if anything's gonna help break someone like me out of my shell as far as like trying these like more popular games to get the viewership, it's being a collab. But
yeah,
I'm sorry, I probably got on a tangent here.
No, that's fine.
No, not at all.
Phantom, what were you going to ask about that?
Yeah, I actually, JJ, I want to actually expand on your point, because I agree that there is a line to ride. That is something I am so tired of people thinking that you have to be one or the other. If you want to be a cozy streamer, or if you want to be like an FPS streamer, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If it's more of, do you want to do this as a career, or do you want to do this as a hobby? And if you want to do it as a career, obviously there's going to be a major difference between if you want to do it as a hobby, and if you do it as a hobby, do you still want to get big? Is a really important question, because JG's 100% right. You need to cater to audiences. And I think that Val has the right idea with, like, yeah, Lethal Company is huge right now. If you play Lethal Company, you're gonna get noticed. But like JG's saying, I actually have been one of the streamers I have been connecting with a ton recently with them and their community is a Dead by Daylight streamer. And that's not all that they stream, but it's the majority of what they stream. I literally am watching my Steam notifications fucking explode right now with them all getting ready to play Dead by Daylight. And it's something where it's like, you will always get people for those types of games. If you play Smash Ultimate, if you play Fortnite, if you play Melee, if you play World of Warcraft, if you jump into Minecraft, anything you play that has a massive cult following, you will get viewers. It may take time, but you will get those viewers if you are at least keeping your content interesting. And even not, you might still get people swinging by. But you can't make your content based off of one thing alone, or you're going to be a one-trick pony. That's something that... Oh, go ahead.
No, you finish that.
So, like, with collaborating, I agree that collaborating is a really good way to break out of your shell, and that you can over-collaborate. That absolutely can happen. But I think that there are certain games where collaboration is necessary, and I think that at a certain point, your community will want to see collaborations. And if you really want to grow, there's one way to do it, and that's to merge communities with someone else. That is the fastest growth you're going to see.
That's just me and Phantom.
By a landslide. Yeah, exactly. Me and you. Where it's like, so especially with how busy you've been lately, most of your viewership and most of your community is growing from the VOD and from the people we've brought in to come on the show. And on my end, I've been collaborating out the ass with random people, with people from the VOD, with other streamers that have like come into my chat. And so we have essentially grown so fast because we have been mixing the two. You've been doing your solo streams and you've been doing the VOD, which is a talk show vibe. I've been doing much more of the gaming, both on my own and collaborating. We're not just doing one thing. We're doing so many different things at once. And the same goes for scheduling, where if you stream every single day, that's not going to make a big difference if you aren't scheduled and you aren't giving some form of structure to your streams. Because I remember when Val and I first started streaming, we started almost around the same time. I think you started 2 weeks before me.
I started a month before you.
We were neck and neck. What's that?
You started
a full month before
I started a full month before you.
I couldn't remember how long it was. But regardless, we were very close together. And I remember I couldn't figure out why we were still so close, because I was streaming every single day. And I was playing Phasmophobia, which is a game where I had people to talk to, and I had, you know, it's a cult following game. It's one of those games where if you play it long enough, people will come in. And we were keeping the same viewership, because the difference was I didn't have my schedule put out. I would just stream about 6 o'clock just about every single day in October.
Yeah.
And Val would have structured streams. You knew when Val was going to be on. You knew how long he was going to be streaming. You knew what he was going to be streaming. And he was at the same pace as me, who was streaming every single day, because he had the structure. He had the structure. People knew what to expect. And also, people don't always want to see, like, marathon streams. Sometimes they want a short stream where they don't have the fear of missing out. They can catch the entire thing. They know, hey, if I catch a Val stream, I'm gonna catch all of it. Where, like, Phantom goes for like 14 fucking hours sometimes.
I have to go now.
When he's
I
supposed to
enjoyed
only
your
start
stream,
a minute.
and tell Phantom he sounds handsome. You
I
too,
sound
Val.
handsome.
But you guys have not changed my mind, and that cereal is a soup.
Cereal is a soup.
Absolutely a soup. Yep. There's no denying that one. I would have said that without the chart. But yeah, I think you both have some very, very fantastic points in that, and that is something like you said. I've been putting a ton of time into not just streaming, but researching, going in other people's streams. I literally have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I should have a 6 up right now, but I forgot to open the last one. 6 other streams up right now that I am just like casually peeking back into, seeing what's going on, like maybe throwing something in chat, just to make sure that I'm keeping in touch with other people, seeing what they're doing, and just trying to iterate or improve or take notes from what they're doing. And I feel like, JG, I feel like that's what you do a lot, is that you've sort of been like sitting back, watching and saying, okay, I see what he's doing here. I think I'm going to do this. Like, you saw VTubing and you're like, that is a solution to a problem I had. I don't like having to be on camera all the time, but not having a face cam is like a death sentence for most streamers. So you found an alternative solution. And I think that is the epitome of how you need to be with streaming. You need to innovate, you need to change, and you need to find the balance of going with the flow, but also fighting the current and doing something different.
Of course. I mean, when I was...
a true wordsmith.
Yes, a very true. My man is verbose.
I am #1 streamer.
You are #1 streamer, yes.
He is a verbose boy. That's how I view... Thank you, Brandon. What was I gonna... Oh, yeah. That's at least how I viewed it. And I've talked about it before on this channel, of that in my eyes, knowing your strengths and your weaknesses when it comes to streams and what you want to do is, bye-bye, Danielle, have a good one. Please come back soon, as we'd love to hear you defend your wrong opinion.
Damn, that's the send-off?
That's send-off,
dumbass.
That's the sassiest Val I've ever heard in my life.
I'm sorry, I have to defend this. We love you.
Adamant about defending it.
I
like this. I like this top side of you.
I call it more verse energy.
Don't say that.
It's more verse energy. That, or I'm just a power bottom. I'll be
power bottom is a great way to put it.
I'm power bottom. Oh, no. Bunny redeemed the new redeem. I took a page from your book, Phantom, because I thought it was funny.
I didn't do it. They did it. They did it to me.
Need some uwu energy right now. All right, so why don't we start on JG and go this way?
Oh, you're making me start? Oh
Oh
god.
yeah, why don't you start? I've done it 50 times today.
Should I do it like a deep one?
Do whatever your heart wants you to do.
Just ooh.
Ooh.
That's what they came. That's what people come for. That's what they come for.
Oh god. I'll do a deep one. Ooh.
Alright. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, take some of that.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it at
Do
all.
it, bitch.
I hate this so much. Ooh is my least favorite thing.
Oh, too
Alright,
bad.
I'm just gonna go as sultry as I can with it. I'm gonna lean into the cringe. Ooh.
Oh.
Ah.
Oh. You know that hold on. I know what that deserves. That deserves this. There we go. All right, you ready for this?
Fair enough.
Ooh.
Hey.
It's not the best.
I feel like
need to work on
I
it.
feel like that was probably the closest to like what in my brain and uwu is supposed to sound like. Cringe.
Don't let
You
my-
just made chat horny. I hate you, Hive. I hate you.
You got him with the ooh kind of thing.
Don't let my wife watch this video. I'm gonna be divorced in a week.
Dude, I can't
What do
wait
you
till
mean?
KM
What do you
is
mean?
like,
Your
"Ooh
wife
for
will
me, bitch,
your wife
ooh
will
for
see you
me."
and say, "Why don't you do that at home?"
It's weird BS. I'm out. Oh no.
Everyone
Oh
getting
my
daddy
God.
vibes.
Yo,
Man, it's a
you're
shame.
so welcome to come back.
It's a
Anytime
shame.
you want to debate soup, okay? Ooh.
It's a it's a shame that Chiro and Nina aren't here. Are
Oh my
still
God,
with
dude,
us.
Chiro would be losing their mind.
Chiro would be
right now.
losing.
Resident simp extraordinaire.
Yeah. Ooh, man. We were oh that's right, before that, before the whole uwu fiasco. When I was figuring all my stuff out, I was like, all right, what am I good at and what am I not good at? And I'm like, I really enjoy playing like very low-key chill games where I can just talk. Because the thing is, I enjoy talking about just anything, but more importantly, I like talking about just feel-good vibe stuff. I'm gonna pre. Sorry, I had to.
I'm gonna fucking pray, dude.
I'm gonna pre, dude.
You're gonna fucking pre.
I'm gonna pre.
Oh, we're all grumps. I forgot about that.
Uh,
Lovely.
I've never had so much presidential sex. I read presidential sex before. Thank you. Sorry. Love that video.
Break.
There's Danny and Arnold. I love those guys. But when I was figuring all this out, is just I love giving, you know, comforting and reassuring things, you know, but to also talking about things that some people might not want to talk about, or they just, you know, sometimes things that I feel like people should hear. And what I mean is something like maybe talking about VTubing behind the scenes, or maybe, you know, talking about the current state of, you know, corporate VTubing. You know, people don't talk about it a lot. And so when they come into my chat, I'm like, you know, just talking about, you know, hey, welcome, you know, we're just talking about this, you know, not everybody has to be As we talk about that, I'm like, I'm strong with that. I'm like, something I know I'm weak in, that I don't typically, that's why I kind of don't stream it, is I don't stream competitive games. And I've kind of made that a little bit of a self-imposed rule, because I know that if I play competitive, like heavily competitive games, unless I do so with friends, thanks, Robe. Unless I'm collabing and playing with friends, I don't like to play competitive games on my own, because it doesn't seem like it, and I've talked about in the past of I have some anger issues when it comes to competition.
Yeah, we
and-
saw Chicken Horse. Almost F-bomb.
Almost F-bomb. If you were there, you were there. If you weren't, you weren't. That's how that works. I can snooze ads. I'm snoozing ads. Sorry. With that, I realize I'm not gonna be playing competitive games unless I play with people. So on my own, I'm not going to be playing like Apex or Valorant. I'm not going to be playing Call of Duty. I'm not going to be playing CSGO. You know, I'm not going to be playing Overwatch on my own because it'll just make me irritated. But if I'm playing with friends, I'm much more inclined to. And because of that, I'm able to establish a baseline of, all right, what can I stream? What can't I stream? And I feel like since then, in addition to my schedule, it has helped me maintain relative consistency in what I stream. In my opinion, at least.
No, that's definitely like a very key thing, is getting a schedule down. And back when I was doing the IRL stuff, I had the time to do so. Nowadays, my situation from when I did the IRL streaming is so upside down in comparison. So I worked a couple minutes away from my house. I didn't have any responsibilities besides maintaining my house and obviously time with wife. But nowadays we have, the main thing is my daughter. We have an almost 9-month-old, and there is getting up, getting her ready for the day, bringing her to daycare. Then my wife and I carpool. We carpool with traffic. There's usually traffic on our way, so it's a 50-minute drive to work. I have to drop her off. I go to my job. Then afterwards, I pick her up. We have to go back. We pick up our daughter from daycare. We go home. Then we have child. We have child time until the child is asleep. So I don't get really time to be on until late. And that's probably when I start making things more consistent, that's pretty much what it's going to be. It is like late at night. It's like on Eastern time, probably like 9 at the earliest, maybe 8:30. But it's the unpredictability of having a kid throws the schedule thing out the window, and it really sucks. And I mean, I love my daughter more than anything in the world. I cannot make streaming a reliable, I can't make a reliable streaming schedule because you never know what's going to happen.
Oh yeah. And I feel like if you could still, one could make the schedule, but it's about transparency of, hey, you know, this is my potential stream schedule, and if day of is like, hey, sorry, a stream won't happen today, but thank you guys for you know, being ready and supportive anyway. And then some people they fly when you're like Phantom, you fly by the seat of your pants, and sometimes you stream on a day you didn't put on the schedule because you're like, you know what, I'm feeling in a streamer mood, and it ends up being one of the best streams you have.
Yep. When you're like, I'm gonna go live for a minute to test this freaking shout out thing, and Twitch won't let me do it unless one of us is live. I guess we'll go for 12 hours.
And then 20 people show up out of nowhere.
Yes.
Yep.
So because you're, you know, regardless of IRL or you VTubing streaming, how have you, you know, taken any like business or marketing approaches and things to find growth?
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
That was it.
Oh, okay. So I have not. I did a little bit of like networking per se, but barely any. I didn't put as much effort as I probably should have back when I did the IRL stuff. And well, I still kind of figure out like the kind of pseudo scheduling and where I fit in. I haven't put myself out there. I've jumped into some streams. I try to keep myself very active in the community, not like much more active than I used to. Like I keep my notifications on. I hop into streams, even if it's just to say hi. I will make sure I stop in to say hi to people. But at the moment, I haven't been super pushy, I guess. I don't know, whatever it is, about getting my name out there. This is probably the most that I've had my name, quote unquote, out there, as far as like, hey, I stream.
Do you think that in the future, when things maybe simmer down a little bit with responsibilities, because, you know, as a parent, I'm not a parent, so, you know, of course I have plenty of experience to go off of. No, but you know, it's as your child is growing up and you're raising her, you know, and then, you know, sometimes life tends to settle down a little bit. Of course, there's ups and downs, and there's, you know, subtly cars crashing through walls. So, you know, nothing is ever slow and consistent, but do you think at any point later you would want to try and make more of a push in this hobby we call streaming?
Oh, absolutely. So I have considered it, and I think when Phantom started and I started getting that motivation to go back up, I knew that I wasn't going to be jumping into it as hard. But as I was watching him and other streamers like you and the others, I definitely felt it. And I messaged my wife one day while I was at work because I was watching someone, I don't remember who it was streaming, and I was like, I think I really actually do want to get back into this and make a good push. So I know that it probably won't be for a bit before I make it a more consistent thing, but I would like to make it a hobby that is something that I stick with for longer than I did before.
Phantom, what are your thoughts on this? Because you've been a little quiet.
I have. I've just been listening.
Yeah.
Because I'm very used to it. It's one of those things where I'm so used to being in a room with JG and also being on a call with JG. I am trying to make sure I'm also like giving him the space and respect he deserves as a guest on the VOD. And not just goofing off and interrupting him every 5 minutes.
It is very difficult.
It's so difficult. It's so difficult.
Is it more difficult than me trying to justify my insane flowchart?
There it is. All right, predictions getting paid out again.
What do you mean?
There wasn't a second. I'm kidding. Here, take your lumps while I talk to my friend.
Oh my gosh.
So one of the one of the things I'd say is that it's probably really difficult coming back into
Jesus.
streaming because you transitioned from IRL to VTubing after you had taken a pretty decent hiatus.
I think it was like a
So-
year and a half.
It was yeah, at least a year and a half. I know it was 2 years since I streamed, and I felt like we all stopped around the same time. I could be wrong. But yeah, I think that's a difficult thing, and I think that fortunately, I think there are a lot of people who don't know what they're looking for. A lot of smaller VTubers are just gonna look at your number, they're gonna see you're a VTuber, and they're gonna go, "Oh shit, that is JGJoestar of Twitch.com fame."
Don't do it.
I'm not. But I feel as if that is, I feel like that is how a lot of people look at it. And some people, they don't even look that far. I remember when I first started, all those days ago, like less than 60. No, not less than 60. It's been over 60. But when I started, there were people who were intimidated by me because they thought that I knew what was going on. They thought I had been a streamer for a long time and that I had just switched to VTubing, or that I was like some big shot, because they didn't understand that me being comfortable behind a microphone, behind a screen, and like putting a lot of effort into research and my rig, my rigging, I should say, my rig also. But putting a lot of effort into all of my overlays, all of my stream, like really giving it 110%. Gunner, absolute pro vibes. I guess I just gave off those pro vibes to some of the newer streamers, and they assumed that I was like much bigger than I was, and that made it so much easier to communicate, because the hardest part about all of this is getting your foot in the door, because everyone is so intimidated by the idea of letting someone in who's going to stab them in the back, and it's really sad to see. But you got me with it. Yeah, I got a lot of people with it somehow. I'm wondering if it might also be the voice. It's very disarming. It's very friendly. Golden retriever status. So yeah, I think you'll do fine, because I think a lot of people are going to honestly look at your number. They're going to see like, oh, he's established. Yeah, okay. Like, he's smaller, but he's established. He's not so big that he's intimidating. He's not so small that like he doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, you got a good head on your shoulders, like, and you've got friends in the VTubing community. I think that if nothing else, having connections into the VTubing community is such a great diving board to start off with. I can't imagine that you'd have trouble if you one day found the bandwidth to start streaming more often. And to people out there who are IRL, or maybe and switching to VTubing, or maybe they're VTubing and they just took like a break, or are having trouble getting growth, the biggest advice I can give is look at look at yourself and watch your own content. If you can watch your own content and enjoy your own content, you're doing it right. And you're going to find your audience because they're going to like watching what you put out because it's what you do.
You know,
That's a very fair point.
you know what's funny is that same logic applies to anybody who wants to do voice acting. Is that the first step? Because I find that voice acting and VTubing are very similar in terms of performances. One of the first things you got to do is you got to learn to get used to your own voice. Oh my goodness, my voice is dying. Is you got to get used to your own voice. And if you can't do that, how can other people kind of get used to that? Because you're your harshest critic. And if you're not my lisp is coming back. No. Pardon me.
It's that time of the evening.
It's that time of the evening. If you're not looking back, how can you think, that you're doing any good? Which, in reality, you should be thinking to yourself, man, this is scuffed and this looks terrible, but I love it and it looks great. Like I was talking with my mod, where I was just tooling around and just recording some covers of songs. Thank you, Apophis. Recording covers of songs, and I was doing a cover of Viva La Vida. And the thing is, at the very end, like in the chorus, I was able to hit that falsetto note, and it sounded smooth as heck, and I loved it. I'm like, and I listened up like, crap, how did that go? Is like, for some reason I can't explain that little part where that hits that falsetto. It was crispy. It sounded great. And then maybe like 3 seconds after, because for some reason I can't explain, I hope St. Peter will call my name. Duh. I had, in the recording, I had forgotten the lyrics and started to hum it. And so you hear me in the recording go, for some reason I can't explain, I hope St. Peter will call my name. And then you just hear me go, and then I just got a Discord text. Like that whole line was in that recording, but I wasn't like, oh man, I sound awful. This is funny as heck.
Yeah.
And so I feel like if you can
The
get
distracted sessions.
Yeah. Well, I was just BSing the rest of that chorus, and then that happened. But the long and the short of it is learning to accept who you are and what your voice is, and like not only how it sounds, but just that you have a voice, I think is the first step to growth in any performing platform. So yeah,
100% agree.
Well,
That's salad for me.
salad.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with salad.
Good for you. I'm glad, champ. I'm glad.
Thanks, Dad.
Wait, no. Anywho,
Daddy.
not in front of the kids.
Look away, chat.
Look away, chat. So we're nearing the end.
Avert your eyes.
We're nearing the end of our show. So yeah, we have 5 minutes left. Is there anything, lastly, that you kind of want to talk about, or you want to think would be important to share?
Well, did you have any other questions lined up? I'm not sure if you had anything else. I didn't want to.
I have plenty of questions. It's just
You can go all night.
I can,
Oh Lord.
but I'm actually
All
working.
of them are chart related.
But I am actually working tomorrow, so I will be going to
I
bed
gotcha.
soon.
Maybe a part 2.
Oh well, yeah,
No,
we'll have you back on the show. You don't get a choice.
Uh-oh.
Not optional.
Nope. So yeah, anything else you'd like to leave us with before we get into our last question?
Maybe some plugs. Maybe some plugs or some.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Well. If anyone has not been listening for the past hour and a half or 2 hours, no. So. Again, like we were talking about, I don't have any stream schedule, but I kind of do like as I can for now. But my socials, my Twitch is just JGJoestar, and Twitter is literally the exact same thing. I post a bunch of crap. I share things from cats all the way to some current event stuff. So if it's not your thing, it's okay. But pretty much play this for fun. I play with the guys. I sometimes do the solo stuff. I try, and I don't know, it's always a good time. I try to keep the vibe chill.
Yeah. Seeing JG go live is like finding a $10 bill on the ground where you're just like, you're walking and you're like, oh shit, is that? It is. Wow, that doesn't happen often.
I guess I'll
And,
take
like,
it.
you're like, yeah, it's like the wind's not blowing, so I'm gonna go walk over there and pick that up. Like, someone might see me do it, but like I'm not that embarrassed about it. I'm gonna do it anyways.
I'm not too ashamed.
And then there's some other guy also reaching for the $10 bill, and you're like, hey,
You're gonna fight them.
yeah,
Only
absolutely.
one. I only have one viewer at a
Highlander,
time.
there's only one chatter in JG's streams. There can't be two.
JG just
Yeah.
instantly bans them.
Yeah,
No, get out of here.
Be gone, vile demon. There can only be one, and that
we
is.
were having a conversation.
You can only fight them if they're homeless. No.
What?
Just
Honey buns only.
that just reminds me of a good mythical morning thing. You're just like, it's just one of the characters that comes on the show is just like, I fought a homeless man behind a dumpster and now he calls me God.
Is that Cotton Candy Randy?
That is the one and only Cotton Candy Randy.
What does he say? Happy was it Happy Candy Day Daddies or some shit?
Happy
like
Cotton
that?
Candy Day, daddies.
Cotton Candy Day. Yeah,
Can I
so
give you
weird.
a sweet nothing? And he leans real close.
I love Good Mythical Morning, but there are two things I cannot actually bear: Cotton Candy Randy and the chewing.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Well, I'll leave you with this. I took your kids to Six Flags. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Well,
two shall enter, one shall leave.
yes. The very last question we always ask our guests, and I think it's the second most important question, is who do you have that we can raid into?
Who? Oh, that we can raid into?
And if you don't have anybody, I have one in mind.
The only two I see on right now are
Ooh.
Speed and Bloobs.
You know what's? I just created a clip for no reason. I hit the wrong thing every time. Raid channel. So, should we raid into? I say we raid into Blue.
That sounds good.
So why don't I start that, and why don't I copy and get my copy and pasted information, because I have that down now. Raid messages, raid Shadow Legends messages. What do you mean exceeded the character limit? That's cringe. Who did
Your
that?
character limit, you're cringe.
By the 9 realms, this is very unsettling. Yeah. Okay.
I like that.
So, for those who are subscribers, for those who are not subscribers, use the Pop Nemo one. So, with that said, my name is Val. That was a Dr. Pepper. My name is Val. This is my wonderful co-host, the Phantom Fame, and this has been our wonderful Why Now of all times.
That was a great.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for that. I need to make that louder. Anywho, I'm Val. That is the Phantom Fame, our my wonderful co-host, and this has been JGJoestar. Please support us, support all of us, support mainly our guest here, JG, and let's show him support. There is a Discord. The Discord is right there. That link is there. I encourage you all to join it. There's so much you can do. I also have a Discord, and I will see you guys tomorrow for Lethal Company. Okay, bye bye.
Bye. Thank you. That was fun.